Are you plant-based but still can't lose that chubby, flabby gut? Well, this video is going to show you how to get rid of it super quick if you apply everything I tell you in this video. So I've been plant-based for almost 6 years now, but for the first 2 years, I still had a gut and major love handles that just wouldn't go away. And it wasn't until I learned and applied these principles I'm about to share with you that I was able to lean out super quick, and now I'm walking around everywhere with my shirt off, super confident. So first things first, if you're going to eat cooked food, and I say this first because cooked food honestly is not ideal for the human body. No other species out in nature cooks their food, and every time you have cooked food, no matter what it is, you're gonna feel a little bloated. It's gonna slow you down your digestion and your energy levels a little bit, and you can really experiment with this. I've experimented with this for years. Now, if you're going to have cooked food, because of that, I recommend limiting your cooked food to just steamed roots like sweet potato. Okay, sweet potato over potato any day. So focus on the sweet potatoes, steamed sweet potatoes, and the squashes and the beets and the steamed vegetables like broccoli and asparagus and things like this. These complex carbs, these roots and these steamed roots and these steamed vegetables are way more lighter and simpler for your body to break down in comparison to grains, okay? Rice and beans and lentils, these are honestly very hard for your body to break down. They give you gas, they slow you down, they bloat you a lot. Okay, so if you are gonna have grains, and I really don't even think it's a grain, I think it's actually considered a seed, I recommend having some quinoa. Okay, get really good at making some quinoa. You can cook it with some coconut milk and put some coconut aminos in there and some honey and some fresh herbs and seasonings. Okay, that's how I like to make my quinoa. So if you're gonna have grains, have quinoa, and just limit your cooked food to these, okay? Quinoa and steamed roots and steamed vegetables, okay? You don't need any oil. Oil is just super concentrated amount of fat that your body has a hard time breaking down. And if you think about it, 1 to 2 spoonfuls of oil, which is how much we're cooking with, it's like 200 to 400 calories, okay? It's excess calories that you just don't need, and it's clogging up your digestive tract. So limit your cooked food to these, okay? And when you do have these cooked foods, if you are gonna have cooked foods, if you don't wanna have cooked foods, you're gonna lose weight a lot faster. But of course, there comes with detox symptoms, and we'll get into those in a bit. But when you do have these cooked foods, if you are, pair them with something fresh, okay? Pair them with something non-sweet and fresh, okay, like celery, or even just some romaine lettuce or some bell peppers or cucumber slices, okay? Have these on the side of your cooked food, because these non-sweet fruits or these just fresh foods have living digestive activated enzymes that are gonna help break down the cooked food easily, okay? Because cooked food has no living digestive enzymes. Your gut is literally designed for enzyme-rich food, okay? Every food that we can go eat in nature by itself without having to process it in any form or way, it has enzymes in them that break the food down themselves, so our digestive system doesn't have to use all this energy, okay? So by providing your body with those fresh foods while you have cooked foods, it's providing your body with the water content that the cooked food doesn't have, that your body needs to break them down, along with those living digestive activated enzymes and that fiber, and just the cleansing properties of these fresh foods are just gonna help your body break down cooked foods way more efficient than if you just have cooked foods, this dry, dehydrating cooked foods itself, okay? And that's the reason you feel the need to drink with or right after your meals, is because cooked foods are dehydrating you, and they're absorbing and pulling the water out of your body to break it down, okay? Because your body, we're water-based beings, right? So our bodies need this hydration from our foods to break down, okay? And that's another tip. Don't drink with your meals. Wait at least 45 minutes, okay? Have some water. If you're gonna drink water, 10 minutes before your meal, and wait at least 45 minutes to drink anything after you've had solids, because if you drink with or right after your meal, it's gonna dilute your stomach acid, and we need that strong stomach acid to break down our foods. So that's step number 1. Limit your cooked foods to the steamed roots and vegetables and quinoa, and pair them with non-sweet fruits, okay? We don't wanna pair sweet fruits with anything but sweet fruits, okay? Sweet fruits are best digested on an empty stomach by themselves, okay? You can pair sweet fruits with sweet fruits. Don't pair them with nuts or seeds or granola or milk or anything like that, okay? If you think about just a mango, a juicy mango going down your digestive tract by itself, super easy, okay? Super juicy, it's slimy, it's easy to get down. But if you have some dry potatoes or some nuts or some granola, and then you have this fruit coming down, now the fruit's gotta make its way through this granola, and it's just gonna cause a big fermentation ball in your gut. And it's changing the molecular structure of the fruit itself. And we just want that fruit itself because the fruit itself is very cleansing and purifying and detoxifying and gonna help break down undigested waste within our colon. Because that's really all excess weight is just undigested waste stuck in our colon. And so that brings me to my next point. Swap out your current breakfast for a big juicy fruit meal. Okay, this is going to help break down that undigested waste first thing in the morning or whenever you do have your first meal, instead of just piling more, dry bread and cereals and just dehydrating foods on top of, whatever you had yesterday, or just this undigested waste sitting in there in general, okay? So we want to hit our system with that pure cellular structured water for our first meal every single day, okay? Melons, plums, grapes, cherries, persimmons, apples, even a smoothie, okay, berries. This is going to skyrocket your process. You're going to be eliminating right after that breakfast, meaning you're going to be pooping out undigested waste. So you want to stay stocked up on juicy fruit at all times, okay? And even bananas, okay, because I love to make a smoothie every single day. I go and get a big box of bananas, 20 pounds, so I always am stocked up, okay? If you're stocked up on fruit, you won't be triggered to go or give yourself another excuse to go eat anything else but fruit in the morning, okay? So even get some frozen fruit so you can make smoothies, blueberries, mangoes, whatever you like. Keep those bananas on stock. Keep some dates on stock. I love to put dates in my smoothies. And remember to not pair those fruits with anything else. Just have a big juicy fruit meal for your first meal until you're full, until you're satisfied, okay? So just focus on the fruit. Don't be afraid of too much sugar, okay? That's a fear-mongering lie. We've been sold to not eat the fruit, okay? Fruit has completely healed my digestion. I had a lot of gut issues and love handles in a belly I wasn't proud of, okay? So fruit is literally the only food that doesn't bloat you. It doesn't give you body odor. It actually gives you energy. It doesn't require so much digestive energy just to get the energy out of it. It's colorful. Humans are attracted to the nice colors of it, right? This is why we go in the store and see all these branded colors and these packaged colors and get so attracted to them, because we're naturally attracted to these beautiful, bright, colorful colors. The scents. Okay, if you're driving and you pass a mango tree and you smell that, every human is going to be attracted to that mango tree, right? But if you drive and you're seeing some roadkill, who's going to pull over and who's going to look out the window and start salivating, and they start gaining an appetite, right? Their stomach starts rumbling, they're getting hungry. No one, man. We are meant to eat the fruit, okay? So just focus on the fruit. So we got your breakfast, big, fresh, juicy fruit meal. Then cooked food. Okay, another point. If and when you have cooked food, these steam carbs, have them in the middle of the day, okay? Anywhere from 12 to 3 o'clock, okay? This is when your digestive fire is at its peak strongest. Just like the sun is at its peak highest around this time, us humans are synchronized with the sun and the moon, okay? So we have an internal clock called the circadian rhythm, and our digestive system moves along with this circadian rhythm. So when the sun is at its peak highest, that's when your digestive system is at its peak strongest. So you want to have your densest meal during this time. Okay, so maybe have your fats in there as well too, which brings me to my next point. So you want to limit your fat sources to just be raw, not roasted, raw nuts and seeds, okay? And preferably even better is avocados and coconut meat, okay? These are way better digesting than nuts and seeds are. But if you are going to have nuts and seeds, I recommend making them as your sauce or your dressing or your dips. So you can make a raw cashew based Alfredo or mayo or ranch. Okay, you can make a lot of these favorite dressings and sauces and dips that we all love at home, but they're gonna be way more healthier and way less calories because they're not gonna have all these processed oils in them like the grocery store salads do or salad dressings do and dips and sauces. Okay, all of those contain gums and syrups and added sugars and oils that your body just has a really hard time processing, and they're just adding extra calories that we don't need. Okay, and they're gonna taste way better when you make them at home. Okay, I'll leave a list of my favorite sauces, 5 to 6 ingredient sauces anyone can make at home. You just need a blender. Some of them you don't even need a blender. So I'll leave that below, and you can put these on your steamed veggies, okay, and your steamed roots, or you can make salads with them. Okay, a lot of people don't like salads because the salads that we get sold in restaurants suck. Okay, even the salad bars, they suck. All right, we're getting these big onions and big tomatoes and big cute, they're just unattractive. Okay, so what I recommend you do is get a spiralizer. Buy a $25 spiralizer on Amazon. Maybe you could find it in Target or something. If you want to make like zucchini noodles, okay? Because you can make awesome pasta dishes with zucchini noodles and maybe some raw cashews in a blender with just like some lemon and fresh herbs, and make an Alfredo sauce or a ranch sauce, and now you're having pasta. Who doesn't like noodles, okay? And if that's too much work, if that sounds like too much work, just buy a box of mixed greens, couple handfuls of mixed greens in a bowl, and just throw your sauce on that with some diced tomato and some diced cucumber. Sounds so simple, but it is simple and it's amazing, okay? You can also just buy some guacamole or make your own guacamole and just dump that in a bed of mixed greens, maybe with some lime juice and some tomatoes or radishes or cucumbers, or throw some sweet potatoes in there as well. Okay, so if you are having cooked food, I highly recommend you slowly and gradually transition yourself to having salads for that middle meal of the day, okay? And you can throw some steamed veggies and sweet potato in there as well, if you're transitioning off densities, okay? Because all of this process is really just about coming down the density ladder into more lighter foods and coming down the complexity ladder into more simpler whole foods and going up the hydration ladder, right? A lot of us are just eating dehydrating breads and processed meat alternatives and rice and grains and all of these dehydrating foods that are hard for our body to break down, so they turn into undigested waste that stack on in our colon and we gain weight, but it's really just undigested waste. So highly recommend you transition from a big just cooked food meal to less cooked food and more of those raw greens, okay? Those greens are gonna help break down all that undigested waste. They have those living digestive activated enzymes as well that we need to break down this waste, okay? So get comfortable with experimenting with salads, okay? Find the best salads that you like. I literally just make like 2 or 3 of the same salads, which I list in that link in the description in that PDF, and I never get tired of them. I've been making them for years and they just taste better and better every time. I enjoy them. I appreciate them more and more. So you can stack your avocados in there as well, and whatever else, sauerkraut, even some pickles, okay? Make it fun. So you want your breakfast to be light and hydrating, juicy, okay? And then that middle of the day, that's when you can have those fats, the density, right? A little bit harder for your body to break down, but because it's in the middle of the day, you're gonna help your body break that down versus having this big meal at night when your body it's like replicating that breakfast, right? It's prepping for the night. Every single night, our body forces us to sleep so it can really break down all of our food, okay? And you don't wanna go to bed with this big density ball in your stomach of food and have it just focus on digesting that meal all night, okay? Because when it doesn't have to do that, it can focus on breaking down all the other undigested waste within your colon all night, okay? So we want to eat like 2 to 3 hours, have our last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, and make it light, okay? Not so fatty, all right? If you want to have a little soup, okay? But I honestly recommend just having another side salad or some fruit, or a smoothie, or an acai bowl, or some juice, or just a mono meal. Mono meal is one ingredient fruit. Just have a bag of grapes, right? Have a bag of cherries, have some plums, have some pears, have some bananas, okay? And throw some hemp seeds on it if you want. Those are very light in fat. If you're coming off of animal products or just meat alternatives and just dried chips and snacks and things like that, you want to focus your snacks on being bananas, dates, and avocados. You can focus on the juicier fruits, but those are going to cause more intense detox symptoms if you're coming from a very low fruit diet. Okay, so focus on the bananas, the dates, the avocados. I always have these stocked at all times. If you come into my house at any day, I will always have bananas, dates, and avocados. So eat bananas as a snack, right? Eat some dates as a snack. Eat bananas and dates together. A really good snack actually is celery and dates. You got that saltiness, that natural saltiness from the celery with that sweet with the date, and you take bites together. Absolutely amazing. So breakfast should look like a big juicy fruit meal. Then if you get hungry again before that noon to 3 o'clock time where your digestive system is at its peak strongest, have some bananas, have an avocado, have some dates, okay? And then you can have that big dense meal, fill up on all that good greens, okay? Or some steamed sweet potatoes or vegetables, have your sauce on it. And you don't have to eat this until you're 100% full. Utilize this and see this as fuel, okay? We're all just eating for stimulation and taste, but we need to start eating for, yeah, your food should taste good, but also energy and fuel. I like to eat until I'm about 75% full, okay? But really, I don't see it as full. I just see it as satiated and nourished. Okay, now I have enough energy to get through the rest of my day and do the things I need to do. And I like to utilize all of those calories, right? It's probably gonna be at least 1,000 calories. So I like to go on a walk, chill for 5 to 10 minutes, and then go on a nice hour-long walk or a bicycle ride after that big meal. So I'm utilizing those calories. Unless I have a lot of I need to utilize a lot of mental energy afterwards for some work, I'm burning those calories physically, okay? I'm going to the gym, I'm doing something with those calories instead of just sitting down, okay? When you move around, or you mentally use energy afterwards, you're helping your body utilize this energy or utilizing these calories as energy instead of and you're assisting your body in breaking it down, okay? Instead of just making your body do all the work by being super sedentary and just like scrolling on your phone. Now, just some tips that are really gonna help you out. The nuts and the fats, okay, which are your nuts, your seeds, and your avocados. Have your juicy fruits before you have that, okay? You don't want to have an avocado and then have juicy fruit. If you're gonna have sweet fruit after you have cooked food or fats, wait at least 2 hours to have a juicy fruit meal again, because cooked food and fats take like 2 to 3 hours to fully break down, okay? And you don't want to interfere with that processing of those cooked foods or the fats with sweet fruits, because that's going to cause fermentation in your gut and it's not going to feel good, okay? Like I said, juicy fruit is best digested on an empty stomach or just by itself, okay? So wait 2 to 3 hours after you have an avocado or some nuts or some seeds or nut butter, then you have your sweet fruits. Now, if you're just starting out, some banana and a little bit of nut butter on it, it's not going to kill you, okay? If that's going to help you make better decisions within your diet, okay, and not go get some processed snacks, just have the bananas and almond butter, maybe some hemp seeds, maybe some honey on it, okay? It's not gonna kill you, and it's better than a lot of what you can be eating, but just to give you some tips and knowledge and awareness, it's best to wait to have sweet fruits either before you have the fats or 2 hours after. And try to focus on keeping your fats intake, the nuts, the seeds, the avocados, the coconut meat, under 15% of your daily calorie intake. So that's about it. Quick recap, focus on the fruits first half of the day, getting as much fresh, juicy, ripe, sweet fruit as possible. This is gonna help break down all that undigested waste from, years, right? We have years and decades, if not generations, of waste within our colon. Okay, our colon is very long, all right? It's just like this within our body, so it doesn't seem long, but if you stretch out our colon, it's huge. So there's a lot of undigested waste within our colon or our digestive tract, and these fruits are gonna help lubricate all of that gunk out and help it eliminate. The second thing is to limit your cooked foods, if you are gonna have cooked foods, to steamed roots and steamed vegetables, okay? And you wanna pair those with some leafy greens or some romaine lettuce or some non-sweet fruits, cucumbers, red bell pepper, carrots, zucchini, things like this. And these non-sweet fruits are gonna provide your body with the water content the cooked food doesn't have, with the fiber the cooked food doesn't have, to really allow it to break down fully. And if you're gonna have nuts and seeds, they're best digested with some greens, right? That's why I say use it as a sauce on your salad, or just pair them with some non-sweet fruits. And again, I'll leave the link below to my favorite sauces that are super easy to make. You can put it on anything. And if you're transitioning from a low fruit diet, focus on the bananas, the dates, and the avocados, okay? And after a couple weeks of that, you can start replacing those with more juicier fruits, not so many avocados, not so many dates, okay? And if you feel like you're getting detox symptoms, too intense detox symptoms, right? Headaches and maybe some stomach issues, because that will happen. These fruits, these juicy fruits, are very cleansing and purifying and detoxifying, and really just ripping through all of this stagnancy within your digestive tract and gonna help it eliminate. So you're gonna feel that, okay? Years of putting all this stuff in our body, you're gonna feel that, okay? So if you feel like it's too intense, lean back on the bananas, the dates, and avocados. Use that as your density and your forms of nourishment and satiation that we're all looking for within dense foods over the grains and the alternative meat products and the microwavable meals and the chips. Okay, those are gonna do you so much good within your weight loss journey. So I hope this video provided you with much value. Take some notes on that recap that I just recapped to you, and start implementing this ASAP, and I promise you within a couple of weeks you're gonna get that belly flat and leaned out, and you're gonna be walking around with your shirt off everywhere. All right, much love, happy healing, family. Cheers.